2022-2023 Sacramento Kings broke out as one of the most surprising teams in the NBA, powered by a historically electrifying offense. Under first-year head coach Mike Brown, the Kings put up a 119.4 offensive rating, the best mark in league history by more than a full point. Much of this was enabled by the addition of big man Domantas Sabonis, acquired in a 2022 season trade. Sabonis' unique passing ability and incredible processing speed allowed Brown to design an offense that revolved entirely around Sabonis as a dribble handoff hub. Much of the Kings' offense started with giving Domas the ball at the top of the key and letting him make the decision to drive, shoot a mid-range jumper, or, as he very often did, find the open man. Perhaps the biggest beneficiary of this high-movement offense was Kevin Huerter, the sharp-shooting New York native acquired from the Atlanta Hawks in the offseason. Huerter shot 40.2% from 3 on 6.8 attempts per game, providing a huge threat to opposing defenses. Rookie Keegan Murray, who was a bit of a surprise pick at number 4 in the 2022 draft, lived up to expectations as well, shattering the rookie record for three-pointers made in a season, splashing 206 of his 501 attempts on the season. The leader of it all, though, of course, is De'Aaron Fox. The 6-year guard out of Kentucky has always been known as one of the fastest players in the league, but fans were waiting for him to take the leap that was expected after being taken 5th overall in 2017. In 2022, that leap came. Named to his first All-Star game, as well as being named to the All-NBA third team, Fox was able to command the Kings' lightning-fast offense with unmatched rim finishing, meteoric transition speed, and the very best performance in the clutch across the NBA. Fox, Sabonis, Huerter, and Murray were flanked by a cast of uniquely capable role players that led the Kings to the 3rd seed in the West at the end of the season. The energy provided off the bench by Malik Monk as a playmaker and finisher was invaluable when Fox or Huerter sat for a breath. Trey Lyles turned into one of the hardest bigs to guard in the NBA, with a sturdy handle and dangerous three-point shot. But the less talked about secret weapon behind the Kings' success is the team's very best defender, Davion Mitchell. A native of Hinesville, Georgia, Mitchell was a phenom at Liberty County High School. In his junior season, Mitchell averaged over 24 points a game alongside 7 assists and 3 steals, and took Liberty County to the Georgia Class 4A state championship. As a 4-star recruit, he originally committed to Auburn University before transferring after his freshman year to Baylor. In Waco, Mitchell began to pop up on NBA radars as a speedy guard with an incredible knack for tough defense. Davion has said that he has modeled his game after guards like Kyle Lowry and Jalen Brunson, both of whom have become stars and two-way pests for their respective NBA teams. As part of a unique 3-guard offense at Baylor, Mitchell helped the school to its first national title in 2021, where he had 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. The Sacramento Kings took Mitchell 9th overall in 2021, which came as a bit of a surprise after the success of 2020 rookie point guard Tyrese Halliburton. The Kings went into the 2021 season with a logjam at the point guard position. De'Aaron Fox was the clear starter, but Halliburton had exceeded expectations, and the team had now taken Mitchell with another lottery pick. Mitchell complicated their problem by leading Sacramento to the 2021 Summer League title, winning Summer League MVP along the way. To say that Mitchell struggled in his rookie season is putting it lightly. It's hard for any small guard to adjust to the physicality of the NBA, but Mitchell seemed very comfortable engaging in that style of play. He maintained his annoying, hard-nosed defense, but the Whistles did not like his play as much as they did in college. The team asked a lot of the rookie guard, often having him defend the best opposing player, something not usually assigned to a 6'0" rookie. Mitchell was routinely stuck in awkward positions against experienced offensive ball handlers, who would bait Davion into blocking fouls. The flashes were there, and Davion showed remarkable recovery speed and defensive footwork, but often his bright moments were accompanied by ticky-tack foul calls or size mismatches underneath the basket. Davion took the offseason after his rookie season to get in the lab and continue refining his game. Something that a number of Kings coaches and development staff have praised Mitchell for is the fact that he did not lose sight of the type of player the team drafted. Despite the rookie whistle that frustrated him at times in 2021, he continued to be a physical, in-your-face defender. In 2022, this seemed to pay off. He was fighting through physical contact even better than during his rookie season, and his role grew after the departure of Halliburton at the end of the 2021 season. Tuning into any 2022 Kings game meant seeing the second-year guard lock down whoever he was matched up against. Always lurking in passing lanes, Davion unlocked immediate transition if he got his hands on the ball. Playing almost like a free safety at times, teams that thought they could rip and run off of defensive rebounds were often met with Mitchell waiting to pick the ball off at half court and restart the Kings' hyper-efficient offense. Off Night, as he's nicknamed, gave nearly all perimeter players in the league just that when he defended them, an off night. In addition to his quick hands, Davion developed a knack for stepping into the paint and taking charges that often bailed out Sacramento in failed defensive possessions. Mitchell possesses a truly remarkable defensive court vision and recognizes when to leave his man for a double or a charge faster than basically anyone in the league. This is obviously reminiscent of Lowry, someone that Mitchell modeled his game after, as I mentioned. Davion even got Lowry with his own technique on multiple occasions when the Kings went to Miami, giving the savvy veteran a taste of his own medicine in many ways. Perhaps Davion's best quality, though, is his screen navigation. His quickness and strength at his size give rise to absolutely elite ability to fight through screens and stay with his man, often providing contests or even creating turnovers off of seemingly wide open outside shots. Teams would try to get shooters to run around picks and pull Mitchell off so that one of the Kings' slower defenders would be forced into a rushed contest. This backfired more often than not, as Mitchell not only provided that contest, but routinely forced inefficient, challenging shots. It didn't matter how big or strong the screen setter was. In almost every case, Mitchell was simply better at getting into defensive position, something that the Kings desperately lacked before his ascension. Mitchell was asked to defend opposing perimeter players of all sizes, but almost always the most skilled. In their one matchup on the season, Mitchell held Damian Lillard to just 1 of 8 from beyond the arc. Mitchell welcomed this matchup, finding pleasure in frustrating one of the best shooters of their generation. Devin Booker didn't find much more success from outside against Davion, shooting a combined 3 for 13 from 3 in their 4 matchups. Booker reached at least 4 personal fouls in every matchup last season as well, and routinely got baited by Mitchell into charge calls. Even someone like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander struggled when primarily matched up against Davion Mitchell. SGA's unique size and ability to find angles was stymied by the strength and quickness of Mitchell, who was able to recover off of Shai's devastating crossover and provide a contest that basically no other guard can. This defensive prowess extended to bigger perimeter players as well. Davion held Zach LaVine to 5 of 16 shooting from outside, and often frustrated the Bulls' veteran guard with his ability to fight through Chicago's pick-heavy offense. LaVine was unable to step back or drive against Mitchell, leading to awkward early shot clock chucks that gave the Kings an easy defensive rebound. Paul George faced similar problems and tried to combat it by simply backing Davion down and allowing the 8-inch height differential to lead to an easy post score. Unfortunately for PG, Davion is simply too strong and savvy to be bested by this strategy, and George's signature turnaround jumper simply did not fall against the Kings. But perhaps Davion's best matchup, and the one in which he has made his name, is against Steph Curry. Mitchell's quick enough to recover from Steph's crossovers, strong enough to get through the Warriors' very legal moving screens, and smart enough to not get peeled off by Curry's crafty bumps as he drives to the basket. In their first-round playoff series against Golden State, Sacramento began employing Mitchell as a Steph stopper, and at times it looked as if he had been created in a lab designed to shut down the 2-time MVP. All of the attributes I've mentioned were at play. When Steph would try to get an open shot in the corner off of a pin down, it was as if there was no screen at all, and Davion would phase right through Looney or Draymond for an easy contest. His quick hands and eye for transition gave the Kings free basket after free basket when Mitchell could pry the ball loose from Curry. When the Warriors did try to get out and run in transition, Mitchell was always ready to take a charge or make any layup nearly impossible for Curry. And of course, in the half court, Mitchell's screen navigation was on display for the whole world to see as he routinely took the ball away in seemingly easy pick-and-roll sequences. Mitchell leveled up offensively in the series as well, being able to turn his pesky defense into transition buckets. While the Kings eventually fell in the series 4-2, Davion Mitchell had showed the world what Sacramento had always known. He is one of the very best perimeter defenders in the league, and the skills that have been developing for 2 years are finally paying off in a major way. Golden One Center exploded every time Mitchell made a defensive play, and the league is now on notice that going into Sacramento should be no easy task for any offensive player. In addition to his defensive skills, Mitchell began to show some of his more refined offensive abilities as well, including some very creative rim finishing on tough angles. Very often last season, when the Kings needed a key bucket late in the shot clock, they would rely on Davion to make magic by cutting through opposing defenses and getting a shot on the rim. Mitchell also showed a knack for finding creative passes that allowed the Kings' high-flying offense to continue operating when the play broke down. He's a skilled playmaker that can locate open shooters and cutters in the blink of an eye, and found a role behind De'Aaron Fox as the team's primary ball handler last season for that reason. The movement of Sacramento's offense does not work if the point guard can't recognize the seams it opens up, and as Davion grew into that role, it was clear that he could locate those opportunities. Mitchell, of course, does still have a lot of room to grow. His outside shot has never been a big part of his game, but the Kings are hoping that he can develop a three-point shot threatening enough to draw more defenders than he often does. He's publicly stated that his goal this offseason is to become one of the league's better outside shooters, something I'm sure the Kings are hopeful of too. He has the footwork and quickness to get separation, he just needs to refine his shot mechanics. Davion also sometimes relies on his mid-range ability to get himself buckets, an inefficiency in the modern game that most analytically driven teams, like the Kings, are trying to minimize. In high school and college, Mitchell feasted on defenses that couldn't recover quickly enough to contest his mid-range jumpers, but in the NBA, it has more often than not resulted in early shot clock misses that quickly nullify a possession. If Mitchell is going to continue to level up as an offensive player, he will need to get better at turning these mid-range shots early in the clock into more efficient shot types or foul opportunities. All that is to say, Davion Mitchell is right on track for Sacramento. In just 2 years, he has turned himself into a defensive nightmare for perimeter players, taking the ball away or drawing fouls against the best of the best. Mitchell is a transition machine, and the Kings' legendary offensive rating would not be what it is without the key minutes he provides off the bench as the backup point guard. There's a world where Davion can continue to grow and become a starter somewhere, but at least for now, he's the perfect piece that enables the Kings to do what they do. He's probably the best screen navigator in the league, he can contest players 8 inches taller than him, and he baits even the savviest veterans into silly turnovers. With another year of development, the sky's the limit for the kinds of things that Mitchell can do on the defensive end. Couple that with a focused effort to become an offensive weapon, and the Kings might have one of the league's best kept secrets on their hands. Every perimeter player in the league knows about Davion Mitchell at this point, but by the end of next season, the NBA world at large will finally see what a special talent Sacramento has cultivated.